Hi.
Hi.
You. Yes, hi guys. My name is Shula. I'm just here as a support system. This outlet is hers, so let's make her shine.
No. Yeah.
Baby, you get
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Purity and Shulac. This is our fourth episode. My name is Purity Mbogwa.
And my name is Shulak Mbogo, one half of Purity and Shulak. Welcome to our space.
And also.
And also one
of-
half of the Awesome to Some podcast.
Yes.
Definitely check it out.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Yes.
And as you can see behind us, we have a stand. It's like you are selling something, but we are not.
No, we are not.
It's in line with today's topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so today I want us to talk a bit more in depth about my acne journey.
Acne and skincare.
Acne and skincare journey.
Yep.
Yes.
That explains why we have this wide range of products behind us.
Yes.
Mm.
These are some of the products we are using at the moment. Some are very new. For instance, this one. Help me pronounce that name.
It's Clear Clean Lotion. Oh no, it's Clear Clean Lotion. Clear Clean Lotion. I hope you may focus, but it's Clear Clean. Hey Claire, that was so.
Yeah, and so this is one of the newest
Mhm.
that we are trying out.
Mm.
And we'll
It's
get
like a
into them.
moisturizer.
This is it's supposed to be what? Yeah, more like a moisturizer.
Yep.
Yeah, and so we'll get into these later as we move along, right?
Yep.
So, where do we begin?
We had mentioned, you had mentioned that you are going to look for a dermatologist. One last shot. So you might begin there. Maybe did you look for a dermatologist, or did you just decide to use a different range of products? I think it's a good starting point.
Okay. Now, when I had mentioned the dermatologist, that was in my 9 things I know for sure.
The second episode.
The second episode. And I had already been recommended a dermatologist. I just needed to book an appointment, which I have not, because I saw this brand and I was curious to try it out
Before proceeding
to see,
book your session.
to book my session. And so my skincare, or rather acne situation, let's take it back to when it all began.
So that's in high school.
It started subconsciously in primary. We used to study with Shrek. If you don't know now, check episode 2. You will get to know who Shrek is. We used to study with Shrek in primary. And so it was one afternoon. We were just having conversations. We are very little. Not so little. But it came up. And he was like, you have such good skin. I don't think you will ever get acne. And I was like, okay. At least that I remember. And that conversation sort of ended at that point. And so at this point, I'm presuming we had noticed
people having breakouts and everything.
Exactly.
Because I believe maybe late primary, class 7, class 8, adolescence has already started kicking in. So
Yes.
people are having breakouts.
Yes. And I think maybe Shrek had a bit, or his came a bit later. I don't know what
At the point he was in
triggered.
class 8.
Yeah, he was far ahead of me.
Class 8, class 7. So he already had his breakout in class
That's
8.
what I want to presume, because I can't pinpoint why that conversation came up, but somehow it came up. So it must have been, something must have triggered that. And so I moved into high school high school is when my breakout began.
Mhm.
And not that I can pinpoint any specific moment, but I know in high school my face was really bad.
That's Form 1, Form 2?
I want to say Form 1, it's when it began, Form
Mhm.
1.
But not that bad.
Not that bad, but as I progressed,
Mhm.
it became worse.
So moving on to Form 2, Form 3.
Yes, I think that was the worst point of it.
Mm.
Because I was oily and I
Mhm.
also had pimples also.
Mm.
And it was so bad to an extent I don't think I would look myself in the mirror,
Mhm.
and I think I avoided it to a point, when you recognize, when is the last time I checked myself in a mirror? But I know it was so bad that I used to wonder how people are able to talk to me, engage with
Mhm.
me, because
So
you
it messed,
feel like
it messed with your esteem. Let's put it that way. Maybe it was not okay. Let's say it was bad.
it was bad.
So it ended up messing up your esteem, a bit lowering your self-esteem because of the confidence factor. You see the fact that you're wondering how people are able to address you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I can't say I was not as confident, but I knew I didn't like my face.
Mhm.
Plus, it was bad, and you're like, okay, you know how you can feel
Some type of way cringy.
cringy.
Mm.
So I used to wonder, and people feeling
Cringy.
cringy,
Ah.
because we would still interact as normal.
Mm.
But then I came to realize what was triggering it more was blue band.
Mhm.
In high school, we were allowed to buy a 500 one.
Mhm.
And so I noticed, because at home I never used to have it,
Mm.
it would sort of calm down.
Reduce. Mhm.
But when I went back to school,
They will now pop.
it would flare up now.
Mhm.
And there was nothing much I could do I didn't know much about skincare. And so you would just do your normal washing and moving on.
Did you try any products?
At that time,
During the
I
holidays?
don't know about starting out.
Acne. Also, you think it's just like a normal breakout?
It's a normal breakout. I don't know how I'm supposed to handle it.
Mhm.
The only person, there was a lady, she was way ahead in Form 3, Form 4. And for her, she was very unique because she had Johnson & Johnson products.
Mhm.
And so for her, in the evening, I would see her have her soap, Johnson & Johnson, cleanse.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like she was very high end,
Mhm.
right? That's the only person I saw at the
Mhm.
time. Myself, did I know about any products at that time? No.
Mhm.
I had no idea. But I remember my parents being very supportive, just being like, just wash your face in the morning and in the evening. It will clear up.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So that's high school.
that's high
No
school.
products, no nothing.
Nothing
No knowledge
much.
of how to deal with the acne.
Yes.
Then now you move on to campus.
Now I move on to campus. Now campus is, I think, smartphone. You're able to go into the internet. You're able to see, okay. And that's when now I started having more like a skincare routine.
Mhm.
I started, I know I was doing more of the scrubbing. I started buying products.
Mhm.
And I know it was Best Lady. Best Lady has quite an array of products,
skincare products.
skincare products.
Mm.
And I remember trying out. Also, there were those home ingredients.
Down memory lane. I've remembered there was something I used to see in your closet.
Mm-hmm.
Apricot scrub, something like that.
Yes, apricot.
Oh, that was not for
scrubs.
the face.
No, that's for the face.
Mm.
Yeah, that's for the face.
Apricot scrub.
Yeah. Mm.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And so there was the toners.
Mhm.
So I started buying. In campus also is when I started to do facials.
Mhm. Facials.
No, facials is where you go to a salon.
Mhm.
So they steam your face, they scrub your face. More or less, it's a bit more pampering.
Mhm.
And
But it does help.
They pop. Also, it helps with the whiteheads, blackheads. Now, that's when I became a bit more sensitized about skincare.
Mhm.
And but it was still what? Because obviously you're not as consistent, and obviously some of these products, DIY, you're told, okay, apply Colgate on your face.
Mhm. Does it work?
Works.
It
It
does.
does. It shrinks the pimples.
Okay.
Yes, you've never heard of that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Apply Colgate.
No, please.
Ah.
Because now
Mhm.
all these home organic ways of skincare routine at times can also be a bit harsh on your face.
So it might react the bad way.
And it might make your skin even more.
Maybe corrode. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly, and more prone to acne. I remember there's a facial I went for, and this facial they were not using the beauty products. It was all organic, as you would want to say. Have you ever heard of sugar scrub, sugar, honey? Then you can use that as a scrub.
I've only seen coffee scrub on one of the barber shops across the road.
Yeah. So they're such kind of home-based products that you can use. But now the thing is, I walked out of the salon to a point. After the facial, they even applied. What was it? It was can I remember? It's medicine. Crushed, mixed with something, applied to your face as a mask, just to help the face calm down or heal. Point is,
it was like a +1.
Yes, that's how it was meant to be. Going all organic, so there are no funny ingredients and all that. But now the problem is that as I walked out of the salon, went to the bus stop, my face was in pain. You know how the wind can just blow against your face and you just feel pain? Because you have been scrubbed, they have tried to extract. Remember, I had pimples, so some have
Being popped.
Yeah, being popped. So it was painful, and I just remember being like, can't I have just good skin? And I remember I never went back. Just because of that moment in itself.
And I believe it's also traumatizing in itself.
It is.
Trying to imagine that maybe... Did you feel itch or anything?
No, it was just...
Like the burning sensation.
My skin was just very sensitive. Very sensitive. And you could feel pain. A bit of pain also.
So there's no fun in that?
There's no fun in that.
There's no way you're going to go back?
No. And the idea was, the more consistent you are, the more it gets to.
The results show.
Yeah, the more it works. But so I gave up on the facials, because up to now, to date, you know how they say you should wash your face for at least a minute? At times I can't. I feel like my skin is very sensitive. If I rub and you're not even using too much
force or anything,
you just start to feel as though your skin is, I don't know, it's just sensitive. And I want to believe some of those routines I had adopted back then were a bit rough on the skin. And so I did facials. Then to some point, my mom was like, okay, why don't we try the hospital way, right?
Mhm.
So I went to Mata.
Mhm.
Mata, okay, now you have to go to the general, how can I say it? You have to be recommended to the specialist, right?
The dermatologist now.
The dermatologist.
Mhm.
So initially, before recommendation, I just went to a physician. Now, ideally, the physician is supposed to recommend you to a specialist, to the dermatologist now.
Mhm.
But I remember when I went and he just looked at me and he was like, just this. This is what is stressing you out.
Mhm.
And I think at times it can be you can feel a bit bad,
Mhm.
especially when something is weighing you down.
Mm.
Like to you, it's very serious.
But to someone else, it's just
It's just like,
an issue.
okay, could be adolescence.
Mhm.
You get.
In campus, surely.
Yeah. Yeah.
All those years, like, okay, let's even assume you joined campus when you were still very young.
Yeah.
But adolescents at 18, they break out. And
No, I'm telling you, just the other day somebody told me, or maybe it's just
adolescents.
Yeah.
At 27.
And so I got medication, I got a cleanser and something to apply, and went home. So I tried the regimen, it worked.
So he did not recommend you to the dermatologist?
No, not at that point.
But he sold you some products?
Yes. He told me, go use these, 1, 2, 3, see how it goes. And so I came back, used the products, a cleanser, I wanted to leave a bar soap and some gels. And it worked. But immediately I stopped using the products. It slowly started to
revert.
It started to come back. But because of how he received me, let me say, how he took it a bit light. So I was like, I don't think I'm going back. And so I tried another one also in town. Now this one, the buses we use, at times they have posters inside. And so these dermatologists, this farm, if I may call it, had a poster. And I was like, okay, they say they deal with skin issues.
Why not?
And so I walked myself, and I remember the doctor had really good skin. That's the first thing. But then it is the first thing I notice when I meet a person. I just notice your skin.
The skin tone?
Yeah. And so I was recommended for a number of products. They had their own. I came back, tried them, they worked. And my skin was flawless. Very flawless. But now my problem is, after the product is done, after I've done using the product, say a month or so, my skin slowly starts to go back to
the way it was before.
So it had calmed down, yes, but either way, it was not as bad as it was in high school. But now it starts to revert back.
So that means you need to use the products
You need to use them consistently.
Back to back.
Yes. And so I never gave up. I never gave up on skincare. I did take a break, but I never gave up on the idea of
trying another skincare routine
or seeing a different dermatologist. And so after some time, people notice, right? With acne, people will notice. And so at a place I was interning, a colleague, shout out to Eva, Eva recommended a dermatologist. I remember she wrote it. she was like, okay, go try this person. You never know, it might work at Kenyatta Hospital. And so at the time she recommended, I didn't go, but I kept the contact. And so a bit late, after some time, I decided to book myself an appointment. No, you don't book an appointment. I decided to take that step to call. Yeah, I actually called to book an appointment.
With the doctor now?
With the doctor. But now there, you don't have to book. You just have to show up a bit early, within the timelines. It's Kenyatta, the private wing. And so at this point, I remember I was struggling with money issues. The money was not moneying at this point. But my best friend at the time, he was a nice one. He offered to cater for the
sessions.
Because there was consultation. After consultation, there was the medication you're going to be recommended. And so it needed money. It was not as much,
but it was still something. You still needed that financial muscle.
At that time, yeah, I really could have used the help. And so I would go for a session, explain myself. And also another thing, it's the same thing with dermatologists. I think maybe they have seen way worse situations. And so when they see you, they are not as...
They're like,
okay, this is not as bad, right? And so I did 4 sessions. COVID hit, and that's when I stopped. But with each session, now what I noticed is it's as though they are not as sure what the problem is exactly.
So basically it's trial and error.
It's trial and error.
They try this product.
Yes.
They try doing this.
Yes.
So
you go, they give you this, okay, you go try for a month, the product ends, you see some change, you go back for a review, okay, this is where we are at. Okay, now let's try this. It's not like there is a clear cut. I mean, for me,
they don't have it figured out, basically.
No. And for me,
they just try out like a wide range of products until they find the product that
works
well
for you. Yeah. And so for me, at this point is when I came to sort of accept that, this is something that you will have to constantly
deal with.
It may never be cured forever, if I can say cured. And I think that was it for me. At this point, I guess I was like, I am not going to go the dermatologist way. Let me just try and figure out a skincare routine that works. And so that's when now also YouTube came in. You would watch people do reviews. Okay, you see a product, okay, for my face, it feels like it forms a layer on top nowadays. You have small pimples, but it feels like it's a layer.
Like you have a layer on top.
Yeah. And so for my skin, I believe it's my skin cells need to regenerate a bit more faster. And so even as I'm reviewing the products, I'm saying, okay, this does this could help me. Go pop in the store, Google, see where I can find, buy the product and try it out, see how it works.
Try to the skin, basically.
Yeah. And some products will work, some will not. And so it's just a matter of trial and error.
And patience.
And patience also. I think if you're not done with the product, you can't conclusively say, this does not work for me.
True.
Yeah. And so with acne, I don't know. You've had acne yourself? A bit.
Okay, mine has been mild.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was adolescence, then
Mm-hmm.
it's like my adolescence then decided to extend like for a longer period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But with my face, with my skin basically, one thing I'm sure is that like right now, currently, it's not that smooth,
Mm-hmm.
not that clear.
Mm-hmm.
But then after some time, it just becomes clear.
Yeah.
Everyone is like, Kwani, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this thing I learned from my mom because she has a very clear skin tone. So every time anyone asks her what's the regime, she's just like, drink a lot of water. So that's the same for me. Anytime someone asks me,
Mm-hmm.
because like for me, I can't say like, I use your products.
Yeah.
Like most of them,
Yeah.
when I see you try a product, I do try.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, mine has not been that bad. I guess it was just at some point the breakouts were too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but then again, mine is on and off,
On and off. On and off.
But one thing I've seen is that at times when I use the products,
Mm-hmm.
it really improves.
Okay.
Then complement it with the hydration and everything, it really improves.
It works.
But for me, acne has never been like a major issue for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually okay with it because it's not like a bad breakout.
Okay.
A big pimple here, then another one here, maybe at times here.
Mm-hmm.
Alafu after some time, maybe especially I noticed that when I work out,
Mm-hmm.
like if I had taken a break, then I go back to working out, I have a breakout. I don't know why. Then it stays like for a week or two, then
it disappears.
back to normal. But for me, it's not like a big issue.
It's not a big issue.
I know that at some period I have very clear skin tone. Then at some other period, it's just not that bad. Like just a small breakout.
Because now I came across a quote that said, once you have acne, it's time to check your mental health. And so, yes.
Okay.
The moment you have acne, now you really need to take care of your mental health because it comes in. So there's this time I am in a supermarket. A very young lady comes in. She's very pretty. I think she was joining, according to how I could gauge, Form 1. And so we were at a section where they sold the soaps, right?
The bar soaps.
The bar soaps. And so this pretty lady, we are just standing next to each other, and she's like, okay, now, and we don't know each other. She was like, okay, now, if I use this soap, it will clear my acne.
And you're like, what acne?
And I look at her, she was just starting to break out. It was very mild, very mild. But now you can imagine, at that age, she's starting to notice. She's starting to be insecure. And honestly, I can't remember how I responded. But it broke my heart because I knew, okay, it may not work for you. You get? This is something you could have to live with, literally.
And she'll have to live with it either way.
It may work, it may not work. And so, even myself at this point, I know if I were to have a kid, chances are they're going to have acne. And for me, I know I would start at a very young age just to start, instilling those small things. Like just have a routine, take care of your skin, because it can screw up.
Try this.
Yeah.
It can mess with you.
It can mess with you. It can even, for me, it didn't bother me much. But what would happen, so you're busy minding your business, you sit next to somebody in a matatu and they're like, what are you using on your face? At that time, you've not used any product. It's just your face, right? You're walking in town, somebody sees you, they're like, some will simamisha you. They're like, okay, what's up with your face? Maybe you should try 1, 2, 3. And so for me, initially, it does not bother me. But the more people, I noticed people were pointing it out, you find yourself...
The more it starts affecting you.
Yeah, subconsciously it starts to sink in, okay.
My face is messed up.
Why is my face the way it is? Okay, I know it's bad, but it starts to bother you somehow.
So the insecurities
then will start to
kick in.
And so, so you see a person with acne, do you tell or do you not tell? Because that's another dilemma now.
Or do you stare?
That
makes it even worse.
Yes.
I'd rather you tell, but not like tell it all. Like, okay, we seem to have a breakout.
Yeah.
Are you using any products? I'd recommend
something, you know.
Okay, it will still affect them. I'd rather keep my mouth shut. If it's not affecting you, there's no way I'm going. If it's not affecting you, I'm not supposed to come and make it affect you. Like if you are comfortable, like the way I'm telling you, my breakouts don't affect me in any way.
Yeah.
But now if you start and if you come and start pointing it out, then I start feeling insecure.
Yeah.
Now you see that's your fault. As much as it's my fault that I let you get in my head, but still, you triggered it.
Yeah.
So I think, okay.
It's a tricky one.
Not unless you ask me. I'm not going to point it out.
Oh, really? Okay. Now, my stand is, if when you notice somebody has acne, at times it could be bad, at times it could be mild, or whatever it is, it's just not your normal skin, you can point it out. How you say it is what matters, right? So you just want to come from a place of what? Of concern. And maybe if you have a product to recommend, you can recommend. Right?
Okay. Fair enough.
But also there are days, okay, I know I have acne. You don't have to tell me I have acne.
No, that's my stand.
I know.
That's my stand.
I know. You don't have to. And so it depends with the state of mind the person is at. And so you could come very genuine, like that lady who approached me in the supermarket in episode
1 or 2.
Episode 2. And somebody is coming from a good place, but let's say you're just in a different state of mind and you're not okay to welcome the idea to have the conversation, then at this point, just let it be. You could come also at a different day, and I'm willing to listen to you, right? And just say. So whichever way you find a person reacts, just don't take it personally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's time we now get to the products. And I think we can start with what's your skincare routine, basically.